Who's excited to learn a little bit more about Facebook parties?
Like abandoned.
So, a little backstory here. This is, she said, there's a couple Gracies, right? This is Katie Gracie, and this is Jody Iden, and I know that you know them, because last year at Retreat, our little pod of, a team found out that somebody was rocking some Facebook parties, right? And I know some of you in this room that you've been here for a year maybe heard that, because it was a Facebook phenomenon in our Trades of Hope group when we heard that she was creating some Facebook parties last year, and we all wanted it, because why recreate the wheel, right? And so I kind of asked them both to come up today because she kind of spearheaded it last year at Retreat, and I wanted to honor that, and so many of you know that, and gave us some tips that we just tweaked. And always know that everything we do could be changed. There's different formulas to everything we do, right? And so we kind of take ideas from everybody and make it our own, and so that's what these two girls did. It's gonna kind of be like a question forum, so I'm gonna ask them questions, and hopefully you can see a really cool model of a full-time working mom, and Jody, who stays at home with her children, which most of us consider that full-time too, but when you're at the workplace and you can't be on your phone or you can't be on Facebook, you get that, right? I don't know how many of you are in here that have a full-time job. There are a lot of hands. So we're trying to figure that out, how you can create this to be your business, and you can still have your other job. And I know so many of you dream to be whatever it is, directors, nationals. Maybe it's a certain paycheck. Maybe it's whatever your goal is. We hope that this helps you with the Facebook parties. So, who wants to be a queen of a Facebook party? That's right. We wish we were like the Ellen Show and we could give everybody one, but we're just gonna wear them right now. These women have rocked their PRV. They both came up last night. They got a PRV necklace. You can check out their necklaces later. They both went on vision trips, and they both sponsor. I am honored and thrilled to introduce part of my team here today, so thank you so much, and I thank the founders for giving us this platform. Okay, so tell us a little bit, Jody, about the benefits of a Facebook party.
I love Facebook parties because guests can shop anytime. It doesn't matter if they're busy or working. They're flexible, so you can post anytime that works for you. So you can do it in the morning always, or I like to vary it up and do it sometimes in the morning, sometimes at night. And then, like Katie, she works full-time, so she can post on her lunch break. You can also share a lot more artisan stories, pictures, and videos, a lot more than you probably would in a home party. So I feel like people also learn a lot more about Trades of Hope. And if you're like me, I've lived in like 4 states, so I have friends all over the country, and Jill being one of them. She lives in Ohio and I live in Arkansas, and that's how I started Trades of Hope, because I did an online party with her.
So yeah, so if you've moved or you have people around the country, our biggest platform for you is for sure do the home party if you're near them. Offer that first, because that's part of our program. It's part of Trades of Hope and who we are. But we also know that there's other parts of this business. And so when we know somebody in another state, go ask them all. Ask them all today. Come up with 100 names across the country. We all have how many Facebook friends do you have? And so go creep on their Facebook page and ask them to host a party. But don't just be like, hey, I'm Jill, I'm at Retreat, I need you to host a party. Kind of form the relationship a little bit. We'll talk about that later. But I asked her, I'm like, can you host a party? You're in Arkansas, I'm in Ohio, I'm doing this. She's like, sure, Jill, whatever, for you. Do it, they'll do it because they have a relationship with you. So talk to me a little bit about hostess coaching.
In the beginning, I don't think I started doing a lot of hostess coaching for Facebook, and I started to realize that it's actually almost more important than a home party because you're not meeting that person face to face. So I have started, I typically do it once a month, usually the middle of the month. I will put together a hostess packet with just catalogs, the opportunity packet. I created a Facebook instructions, and so it'll tell them, a week before the party, you can invite your guests. I say, no more than 150, so typically between 50 and 150. And really get them the information that they need before I'm going to contact them anymore. But I feel like they need the catalogs to share with their friends, especially if they haven't seen it before. Yeah.
And so she's actually asking them to invite about 150. I know that there's a couple different scenarios out there. I know a couple different trainers teach different things. We're talking about 1,000 to 2,000 parties that she has with this amount of number. And you have to kind of go with the wave of social media, and you can kind of see that pendulum switch when we were like, oh, keep it at 25, oh, keep it at 75. And she's now up to 150. She's telling her hostess to invite. So and I've been watching her parties, and they're happening. So it's interesting to see that, because I was like, oh, don't invite more than 30. I don't know. It might work for one hostess and not the other. So you have to find that right match. Okay, so so Katie, why don't you talk a little bit? Can we determine the length of our party? So I know out there they're probably like, what do you do? What kind of parties? How long is your parties? How long are your parties?
I know different people like to do different length parties. I typically do 4 to 5 days, where it starts on a Wednesday or a Thursday. It goes through to Sunday, and then I leave the party open or available on a Monday to get any last minute orders, and I like to post on that day for anybody who has any questions or wanted more specific information on different items, to go ahead and message me and get your orders in by midnight on the Monday.
And let me cut in there on her parties. So wait, you said you start them on Wednesday?
Yes.
When do you create the link in the back office? When do you set it up on Facebook? And when do you start posting? I know I'm going into another question, but just to talk so they get a better feel when your party's a week or something.
When I book the party, I go ahead and set up the party link and go ahead and either call or message the link to my hostess so she can begin sharing it with people outside of Facebook. I set up the actual Facebook event on Monday. I message my hostess and let her know the party's been set up, you can begin inviting your friends, and then I'll usually post before I tell her to invite her friends, I do an intro with the intro video of Trades of Hope. I, on Tuesday, make a post about the party's going to be starting, this is what you need, and I also ask my hostess to post a welcome message to all of her guests, and if she doesn't know what to say, I'll say, well, I have, you can say this, and I kind of give her something she can copy and paste if she'd like. I have some people who like to just go out and just post whatever they want to say and how they
And they're probably future CEs.
about the company. Yes, that's definitely a sign.
Those overachievers.
And I'll provide them pictures as well, so they can pick and choose what they want to post.
And then I think her party actually starts on Wednesday.
Yes.
So on Facebook, she's saying she's setting it up on Monday, but the party actually starts on Wednesday. The host invites them on Monday or Tuesday, but they're going to get another notification in that annoying little notification thing on Wednesday again. So they've technically been invited twice. They've been invited, and then the notification comes up. So that's like a 4-day-ish party. And then what
4
do
to
you?
5 day.
And then
5 day.
what do you do, Jody?
When I started, I did 2 weeks, and I do not recommend that. Way too long. So I now, I usually do them a week, and I pick Mondays. So I start on a Monday and I end on a Monday. I found on the weekends people are just too busy. So if you get them right away in the beginning of the week, it helps. And then it helps for my planning too, because I'll just say, okay, here's your weeks, this Monday to this Monday. And then when I set up the party link, when I started doing a lot of Facebook parties, I would forget to set up their Facebook party. So now when I set up the link, I right away set up their Facebook party, and then I message them on Facebook and say, I have everything set up, you don't have to do anything, I will remind you a week before and you can invite your guests. But that way it's set up, and I don't forget. And typically they remember to invite their guests before I even remind them,
So you kind of talked about you're about a week. I know some of you may do 1 day, you may do 30 minutes, you could do live. I would strongly encourage you not to do an hour live on Facebook. So if you have a party like on one night, we haven't found it super successful when we've kind of tried it in the last month. Nobody's really going to pay attention for an hour live. You guys kind of know how that live feature works. So make it short and sweet. It's even what I'm doing on my team page on this retreat. I know that when people were qualified or whoever they were calling up, I did a quick 2-minute video, turned it off. Did this sponsor, did a quick video, and then turned it off. because people kind of want that quick 2-minute thing. So always think that quick 2-minute thing. I know some of you are like, well, I might get in Facebook jail. So none of us do the 30-minute one night party thing. So, but if you're finding that successful, then that was working for you, don't change it, you know? And so we're just trying to share some different ways that we're doing that. Real quick, when we were talking about setting up a Facebook event, so besides all the stuff you send the hostess, you were talking, you send them a message, you copy and paste some things. What else do you do? Because I know that you were saying you sent like a red stamp and stuff.
I also create a red stamp invite that the hostess can then send to anybody who's not on Facebook. She can text it or email it. And then I also have the hostess private message her guests just to welcome them, or she can just do a general welcome of why she invited them. So even if she's inviting 150 people, she's telling them, you know, this is why I believe you would like it. So
All of her hosts write something on her parties. It's crazy, cool. And then